All right, we have some important stuff to go over here. I was sent a couple tweets, and I wanted to look at the context for them. So from Dmitro Kuleva, Russian army is firing from all sides upon Zaporizhia, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. Fire has already broken out. If it blows up, it will be 10 times larger than Chernobyl. Russians must immediately cease fire and allow firefighters to establish a security zone. Energy experts say that if there's an explosion in Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, the deadly radioactive wave from the explosion will cover Moscow and reach the Urals in Russia. So I wanted to go ahead and check and see. There is some validity to this, unfortunately. Fighting has been going around Ukraine's power plants. As skirmishes broke out around Ukraine's nuclear facilities, heated words were exchanged Wednesday during a meeting of the United Nations Environmental Program between reps of the warring countries, and a UN nuclear watchdog group warned the unprecedented nature of the fighting could lead to severe consequences. You really hope this is either fake or Russia allows firefighters? No. This is on multiple news websites, and it has not been retracted. With worries already at an alarming level over Russian President Vladimir Putin putting his nuclear forces on high alert, a battle being waged in Ukraine for Europe's largest nuclear power plant is upping the anxiety over a possible calamity that would likely wreak havoc far beyond the boundaries of the war zone. During a closing session with representatives of the UN Environmental Program, delegates were given a chance to give final words, and a Ukrainian representative took the opportunity to make a strong statement about what was happening in his country. He said, "Barbarians who pretended to be rescuers right now attack our cities, destroy infrastructure, kill my fellow citizens, and try to destroy everything." Andriy Prevengic, Ukrainian's ambassador and permanent representative to the UNEP, told delegates. Andriy Prevengic said Russian troops are trying to seize the country's nuclear power plants, adding that Russia is conducting genocide against humanity. They said they've come to save Ukraine, but they are here to destroy my beautiful country, said the president, who received a standing Prevengic, who received a standing ovation to the end of his remarks. Dmitry Maximyshev, Russia's ambassador and permanent representative to the UNEP, responded that Ukraine's military forces have been attacking so-called pro-Russian separatists in the Donbass region of eastern Ukraine for 8 years without any protests from the international community. The war, which led to the death of 12,000 people in the east of the country, killed by the hands of Ukraine soldiers and neo-Nazi units, Maximyshev told the assembly, espousing claims the U.S. and its Western allies say are false and were concocted by the Kremlin as an excuse to invade Ukraine. He said, "You have just supported them, distinguished delegates, and it is them that you were offering your ovation. We didn't begin that war," Maximyshev said. Fighting continued Wednesday at the Zaporizhia nuclear power station in, God, these are all things I cannot pronounce, and I'm terribly sorry, in Enerhodar, Ukraine, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe, both sides claimed. So this is not a thing disputed by anyone at the time. The battle over the power plant prompted the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, the UN's nuclear watchdog group, to issue a warning over the unprecedented nature of the situation. Rafael Grossi, Director General of the IAEA, said he and the members of the agency are gravely concerned that a military conflict is happening for the first time amidst the facilities of a large established nuclear power program. During an emergency IAEA Board of Governors meeting, Grossi said an incident affecting nuclear cities could have severe consequences, aggravating human suffering and causing environmental harm beyond Ukrainian soldiers. He said Russia informed the agency that it had taken control of the nuclear power plant, but ABC News has not been able to independently confirm the report. Last week, Russia seized control of the Chernobyl power plant, now shut down and sealed with a containment dome after an infamous disaster in April 1986. Ukraine's Nuclear Regulatory Agency, SNRIU, has requested immediate assistance from the IAEA to ensure the safety of Chernobyl and other nuclear facilities. Saniac, thank you very much for the follow. Despite the extraordinary circumstances of an armed conflict causing increased challenges and dangers, Ukraine's nuclear power plants are operating normally, Grossi said. But while we may use expressions like normal operations in a technical context, I want to emphasize that there is nothing normal about the circumstances under which the professionals at Ukraine's 4 power plants are managing to keep the reactors that produce half of Ukraine's electricity working. This is quite serious stuff for those of you whose homes are European Union. Not a joking matter at all. This could have serious ramifications. Yep, understandable. Yeah, if we can keep joking about it to a bit of a minimum, given the nature of what's going on here specifically. That is the end of that report specifically. But let's go ahead and see. We need to see if we can corroborate. We need to see where we can corroborate. 4 minutes ago, Russia-Ukraine war, latest news. Mayor of Enohradar reports fire at nuclear power plant after Russian shelling. Exact location of fire at the power plant is unclear after mayor reports continuous enemy shelling. Ukrainian president tells Russian leaders direct talks are the only way to stop this war. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything else in here. 52 minutes ago, key events. Fire. Yeah, key event is that the fire broke out at the power plant specifically there. That is not good. If you've got a fire at at a much bigger power plant than Chernobyl, and you are trying to continue fighting there, and nobody's able to get that under control, it doesn't matter how many bullets you dodge. That's it. That is it. That is the last thing you functionally do. And bear in mind, after Russia took over the Chernobyl power plant, it did not take long for radiation levels to spike back up. We don't know the exact reason. It could have been that they hit a pile of waste. It could have been that they did any number of stupid-ass things. But yeah, that's where they're at. And it's not quite the same thing as a nuke. It is nuclear damage, yes, but it's not the same thing as a nuke. So dirty bombs have the worst long-term effects. Gotcha. And that's what Freya is saying, that it's comparable to a dirty bomb. It's comparable to a dirty bomb. More fallout. Gotcha. If the fire was in a parking lot, the backup generators or a reactor building itself is a very different thing. Let's see here. From Eldritch Mom, evidently firefighters are having trouble getting to put out the fires, as I understand, because the dumbass Russians are fucking shooting at them. I just want to point out, there was a statement made that we can't really confirm exactly where it's from, but it was something along the lines of Ukrainian people saying that they're not going to take prisoners of war here at a certain point. They're just going to start indiscriminately attacking anybody who's invading the country at that point. From Russia's side. I'm going to be honest, there's probably going to be somebody in my chat who's just like, war crime's bad on both sides, and I'm just going to have to respond to that right here if anybody tries to do that. I'm sorry, but if you're getting to the point where you're threatening to basically nuke the country, not just with an intercontinental missile, but also with what is just there instantly, I'm sorry, no. The amount of suffering that happens as a result of being more indiscriminate with the ways you defend yourself versus the amount of suffering that happens when you cause the equivalent of a dirty bomb to go off? Like, no. One of these things is not like the others. This would have long-term ramifications for all fucking parties involved. That's about all I've got on that issue right now. This one just came in literally minutes ago. That's where the last update was. Discuss comment section below. I do not feel comfortable plugging anything here. Insert end of video tagline.